All right, so welcome to the next mental model video for Math Celebrity. In this video, I want to walk through a common mistake that students make when they struggle with math, and it's something that's really not covered by teachers as well as certain experts, and it's called the skill pyramid. So when students get tripped up on math problems, they make one of two mistakes. So the first is they either forget what to do or they don't know what to do. And in this video, we're gonna cover mistake number 2, which is not knowing what to do and why that happens. So to solve this problem, I'm going to introduce another mental model for math, and I call it the skill pyramid. So picture this. I want you to think about a pyramid. The base is wide with lots of stones. And as you move up the pyramid, it gets more narrow. So for this pyramid, I want you to ask yourself, what would happen if you started taking blocks out of the bottom level of the pyramid? The pyramid would start falling apart, right? Because everything rests on the base or the foundation. So if you take away a few blocks at the bottom, the entire pyramid crumbles. In life and math, your grades, your success, your ultimate outcome work just like the pyramid structure. So at the bottom of the pyramid are the following: the fundamentals of math, the basic classes, and the required knowledge necessary to move up to the next level. So each level higher in the pyramid requires more skills below it. And without them, your math career comes to a screeching halt. So I want you to think about an equation in math. X plus 4 equals 10. Without knowing about variables, constants, operations, or even what an equation is, you can't solve this problem because you don't know what you're looking at. It's almost like a foreign language. And even worse, if you can't solve this problem, guess what? You can't go on to other subjects like calculus. And so this is why textbooks list out what's called prerequisites for each class. Prerequisites, by the way, are things that are necessary for you to take your current class. And most of the time, it's things that came before the class. So the basics, the fundamentals, the knowledge required. And if you think about knowledge as a pyramid, prerequisites are the lower levels of the pyramid. Without them, you have no foundation to build on. And so everything pretty much comes crumbling down. If you skip fundamentals and jump straight to the advanced stuff, your fundamentals are going to be weak. And in a pyramid, weak blocks eventually crumble, leveling the entire pyramid. So you can't skip the fundamentals. And not only that, you got to master the fundamentals. So when you start any new math class, figure out the required classes needed to understand your current class, the prerequisites, the required knowledge that came before your current class. And even if you took the required classes, skim through the information again before starting your current class. And when you build and master fundamentals, just talking about it sounds boring. It's not exciting. But if you can do it right, it will take you farther and faster in math than any other skill. So, case in point, I used to have a class with a student who got consistent A's in math. It was like clockwork. But this guy wasn't a genius. He wasn't clever. He didn't come from some incredible academic background. But every year he'd do the same thing. And over time I watched this and I was amazed. What he'd do is he'd go through the prerequisites needed for our current class as a refresher over the summer. So he'd do this maybe like 1 or 2 weeks before our classes started, just going over, refreshing his memory from prior classes, skimming over the formulas and the principles. And then he'd go back through any of his old notes from the prior class. When he did this, he strengthened his fundamentals, which is basically his pyramid foundation. But he didn't stop there. So after he looked at the prerequisites, he'd start skimming through the current class and learn those fundamentals. He started learning lessons ahead of time before anybody else in the class even opened the new textbook. And by the time class started, he'd have his questions for the teacher or tutor ready in advance. So when class started, he already had a list of what he knew and didn't know, which meant he was 2, 3, sometimes 4 weeks ahead of the rest of the class. And because of that, he leaped miles ahead of everybody else because he already had the fundamentals built. So he was already caught up, and now he's trying to master the things that people haven't even looked at yet. He's already learned the material, and he's getting stronger each and every day. So I want you to think of the skill pyramid as running a race. And if you study the fundamentals and the prerequisites early and often in advance, it's like getting a 30-second head start in a race. Basically, it's unbeatable. Because part of leveling up your grades comes from mastering fundamentals. Each fundamental creates another block in your skill pyramid. And if you stack up enough of these blocks, you will climb higher than you ever thought possible. So the next time you take a class, do 2 things. First, go back over the prerequisites for the class, and these are always listed in the syllabus or at the beginning of the textbook. Something like, before you take this class, you need to have a knowledge of A, B, and C. So what you do is you go study A, B, and C. And secondly, start studying your current class early, ahead of everybody. So go through the first few chapters before your class even starts and write down your questions in advance so you can ask them early. So the kid I referred to earlier, he had all his questions ready and he got all the answers to them in the first 3 to 4 days of class. So think about where that put him in the skills pyramid. And that's the lesson I want you to take away from today. Math class, when you struggle, it's because you don't have the fundamentals. You may get nervous sometimes and botch a problem because you forgot something that you studied, but a lot of the times it's just that you don't know the prerequisites. And this is such an easy thing to fix. Look over the prerequisites, master them, and dominate your class. And if you do this, you will never, ever, ever miss a problem again because you were in the dark. So I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.